Okay, what's up, guys? Secret Universe. This recap will likely be a very short one. Good guys win 114, 110. Ben Simmons was absolutely outstanding tonight. Defensively, Ben Simmons just took over the game. He shut down Jeremy Grant. He played the passing lanes real well. I thought the Ben tonight was absolutely terrific. And with Ben's activity defensively, it really put you in a position to win this game. And then offensively, Ben Simmons was even more special than the defense. I know that we've been complaining about shot attempts, but one of the reasons that you complain about it is because it's not like Ben Simmons either A, got to the line, or B, converted a lot. That's what made this game special. 5 to 7 for the field, but 10 of 12 on the foul line. When you hit 10 of 12 on the foul line, and including two clutch free throws that iced the game, really, Ben Simmons was a superstar tonight. This was a superstar Ben Simmons. 20 points, elite defense, strapping up, only 2 turnovers, 7 assists. This was the Ben Simmons that you drafted number 1 overall. The defense, the offense, the passing. This is the Ben Simmons that we paid $180 million to. This is the guy that we expect to see out of you, Ben, every single night. We expect you to participate on offense. We'll put it that way. We expect you to participate. You don't have the best handle in the world. I know that. But when you go strong and you go simple and you don't try to put it on as much, just take a quick 1-2 dribble, just like Tobias. Just take 1-2 dribble there in the lane, put something up. If it misses, oh well. Especially if you're hitting, if you hit 80% of your free throws, 75% of your free throws like you're doing tonight, then you can easily put it up there, get to the line, and like Embiid convert on free throws. And we'll be happy with that. Just contribute on the offensive end of the court. If you contribute, then that's all that matters. Because the truth is, the whole, LeBron James thing, yada, 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 that doesn't matter to me. I did not scout you that way. I never viewed you in that lens, and I never will. That's just not who you are. But I do want you to be a positive factor on the offensive end. That is my expectation and ceiling for you. I said that you could be a more athletic Chris Webber, and that's basically what you are to me. You're 6'10", you're big, you're strong, finish at the rim, pass, get your guys involved, rebound the ball, outlet on the break. That's what I need to see from you. That's what I think you can become. I would still much prefer to put you at the forward spot, but if you're taking 1 or 2 dribbles and that's it, don't put it on the floor too much because quite frankly you have no creative dribbling ability at all. But if you take 1 to 2 dribble, strong, finish, get to the line, that's all we can expect, really. And if you do that, I'm okay with it. I am okay with 27, 2 steals every night. I'm okay with that. Keep your turnovers low, convert your free throws, be a 48-minute player for this team, and I'll be fine with it. I mean, we eventually got fine with Tobias Harris. We could easily be fine with Ben Simmons. Like, okay, maybe these guys are not at, Durant, Harden level and may never be. In fact, in Simmons' case, I am pretty, at this point, I'm going to say, yeah, live with it. He's not going to live up to the contract, just like Tobias isn't going to live up to the contract. They're still good players on a championship team. They're just not at the level that they're being paid at. But that's not their fault. That's not ours. The agents got them the best possible deal. Elton Brand handed money like crazy. And here we are with 2 players who are very good but will never reach the plateau to where that contract will actually meet its merit. But it's also because of that, on the other end, it's not like we could trade these players for the player that we should have paid for. Like, we should have saved that money for a Kevin Durant free agency. We should have saved that money for a Kawhi Leonard free agency. We should have had that forethought from a managerial positional standpoint. Where do you put that money? But we didn't. So this is what we chose to invest in. Rightly or wrongly, or in the middle, really. They're good pieces for the team, but badly paid. It is what it is, and they're Sixers because of it. So we just have to support these guys, encourage these guys as they fit the team system. It is what it is, but when Tobias is playing the way Tobias is playing in the role, and when Ben is playing in this role, they're being productive. That's all I can ask. That's all we can ask for at this point. Be productive, be consistent in 40 minutes. Joel Embiid is the greatest center in the NBA right now and one of the greatest centers of all time. If Joel Embiid keeps this up for a period of 5-7 years, wins 2 championships, Joel Embiid will be in that conversation. Typically, once you win 2 to 3 championships, you start to get in the conversation. And the reason I say 2 or 3 is that obviously it's really hard to win 1. It's incredibly hard to win 2. And we shot ourselves in the foot because of what I just said earlier. And again, don't be mad at them. Be mad at Elton Brand, seriously, for those contracts. But the reality is, your ceiling is kind of limited a little bit here. And that it's a great team, but it's not. Golden State Warriors, this is not. This is a team that's going to have to squeeze out games like tonight. There'll be some games where they're dominant, but it's just going to have to be a 48-minute game for a substantial number of games in the regular season, and even for some games in the postseason. It's a great team. It's not an invisible team. And you know what? When we notice what the Nets futilely did, they gave up 124 in a victory that should feel like a really horrible victory if you're a Nets fan. You're as mediocre as you ever were, but now you have 0 chance for the championship. Maybe the chasing of super great teams just leads to bad mistakes, like Al Horford, Toby, the Ben extension, Adamax. Maybe these mistakes get made because you're just focused so much on trying to create quote unquote super teams. When creating super teams is more about fitting those pieces together. And if you do want to do that, really, part of me would trade Tobias Harris for Kevin Love. Now, I'm not saying that Toby deserves to be traded, but if you're really going to go that route, Kevin Love is that pure shooter. Now, Tobias Harris shoots 41% from 3, but I'm just saying is that Toby he isn't purely fitting the whole Love, Bosh element of it. But then again, it's not like Ben fits that alpha dog scorer either. But generally speaking, my whole point before thinking about it was building these super teams is just way, way, way hard. And it's not as easy as, ESPN sometimes like to make it out to be. Just put these scores together and all of a sudden you're going to win 75 games. That's just not how it works. And you're seeing that now with the Brooklyn Nets. There are much more things to think about in the flow of the game. And that's what makes Ben Simmons special. He's a two-way player. Maybe he isn't as great on offense as we would like. Maybe he's not as good on offense as we would like. But he's a two-way player. A frustrating one, but he's a two-way player. As long as he keeps his turnovers down, I'm okay with him being the second, third option on offense. I'm okay with him, again, If he's really comfortable with this Bobby Jones role, if this is how he wants his career to go, all right. As long as we win the championship, that's my mindset. And that was, other people's mindset if we were winning these games and we're continuing to win these games, 12 and 5 first teams in conference. We're the best team in the league and you're all Bobby Jones, okay. That's not what we paid you to do, and it's not what we thought your career was going to be, but honestly, it's a pretty good floor. And for ceiling, we got it wrong. And hey, that happens. That happens in your evaluation process. We got it wrong. But if you're comfortable with this and low turnovers, I can deal. As long as we win the championship, I can deal. As long as we win the championship. As long as we're a top two team, if we get the Eastern Conference Finals year in and year out, if we win the Eastern Conference a couple years in a row, then okay, I'll be fine with it. Because that's what we paid you to do. We paid you overall, not just on the idea that you would be one of the best players on the planet. We paid you to ultimately be that guy that would put us in contention for the duration of your contract. And so far, so good on that front. As long as we win, and this is the way you chose, Bobby Jones, I'm here for it. 11 minutes, and I did not talk about the Sixers franchise player. Blasphemy, right? But it's almost at a point where, what do you want us to say? This is the best center in the league. This is the best center in the game of basketball. And because it's the best center in the game of basketball, he is the unanimous MVP. We're actually winning games. We're 12 and 5. We're the threat to the Lakers out in the East. Not the Bucks. Not the Celtics. We're the top team in the conference. We're the best team in basketball right now, to be perfectly honest with you. And I do think it's time for the sports commentators of the world to start giving us our respect. We are the ones up top of the Eastern Conference. Portland, really? Portland, why? A healthy Sixers team would blow out the Denver Nuggets. Point blank, it's simple. The fact that our kids kept it competitive in the first half, that says it all. This is the best team in the Eastern Conference and among the top 3 teams in the NBA. It's time to give us all love. It's time to give us all due. And when you're a top 3 team in the NBA and top 1 in your conference, that is a most valuable player. Not a high-level scorer on an 8th seeded or 7th seeded or maybe 6th seeded at best basketball team. MVP, most valuable player, always goes to, universally, almost always. That's how Steve Nash ended up getting one. Seriously, we could just end it right there. If Steve Nash gets an MVP, why not Joel Embiid? Why not a two-way center on the best team in the conference? Because Kevin Durant came back from injury? I mean, hooray for him, but this is about the best player in the world on the best team in the world. Not about who came back from injury. And that is Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is the best player in the NBA right now. And every player had their runs, Kawhi had his 1-year run. I had everyone thinking, and I still do stand by my longevity. But even in that longevity, and I'm going to make a video about it, Joel Embiid averaged 27 and 13 2 years ago. Last year, he gave me 22 and 12. Where is this narrative of, oh, no more hazmat suits? We're in a pandemic. The hazmat suit was smart. Seriously, it was smart. We're in a pandemic, right? We're in this super highly contagious thing. So all this, immaturity, no bullshit. Joel Embiid was dominant when he came in the NBA, and he is dominant today. This whole, what were we waiting for? You were waiting for a far better head coach. That's what you were waiting for. You were waiting for a coach who understood how to play the post. That's what you were waiting for. You weren't waiting for Joel Embiid to quote unquote stop being immature. That is old man in the cloud. That is Larry Bird was such a those type. The radio trope is over. These guys are your 70, 80-year-old Republicans. It's over. That's not the reality of sports. The reality of sports is players dominate on the court. And Dwight Howard got similar criticism. No. If a guy is performing, who cares if he's smiling? That doesn't make an excuse for the rest of the team. Literally for the rest of the team. So the team elevates and gets better. Joel Embiid dominates. But I want to make it perfectly clear to the newscasters who left Embiid off of the All-NBA team and putting him behind Bam Adebayo. He was always one of the top two centers in the NBA. He was always the best center in the Eastern Conference. You just hate this guy because you hate his personality. Well, guess what? He doesn't have to cater his personality to you or to anyone else. Or even to me. Joe should be Joe, regardless. It's just ridiculous. The hate that this guy gets is absolutely ridiculous. For just the stupidest reasons, too. Like, come on. Clear-cut MVP. Clear-cut best player on the planet. I don't know what else to say about that. Seth Curry was productive, hit some shots. Over 3 from 3, but we all know that that's going to come. I don't care. Off night, it happens, whatever. The reason you struggle defensively in pick-and-roll coverage, Danny Green should retire. I'll just put it like that. Danny Green should retire from the NBA. He's too slow. He gets caught behind every damn screen. I'm going to do that video on it. I'm going to do 2 videos. I'm going to do a video comparing because I want people to see he's always been this dominant. You just didn't always have the best assets around Joel Embiid to make Joe's life easier. But we're going to compare and contrast what offense looks like under Doc Rivers and what it looked like under he who must not be named. So that video is going to come out soon. And the other video that's going to come out is a breakdown on what happened with Bradley Beal. Because I just want people to see that the steals mean nothing. Danny Green cannot defend in the NBA anymore. Danny Green cannot play defense. Between Danny Green, between Mattise Thybulle, and between Burkhan Mars, those were the 3 guys who gave up the most points. And really, you can only deal with one of them. And that's what this whole regular season is going to be about, as Doc Rivers shown in the rotation for the playoffs. Which one of the 3 do you live with? Burkhan isn't giving you enough offense with defensive viability. Danny Green is neither a good defender nor a good offensive player. Mattise Thybulle is a wild card defensively who makes good plays defensively, but then turns into Danny Green and Burkhan on some nights like tonight, who's also a bad 3-point shooter. I would very easily trade Mattise Thybulle because I have seen not a single improvement on the defensive end or offensive end. Easily. Package whatever you need to get that upgrade as small forward. That's why the Sixers signed a 2-way forward wing for the G League. Not that guy's ever going to come over. But Daryl Morey said, let me kick something down the road because my small forwards are shit. The Sixers small forward position right now is the same thing as the Eagles linebacker core. You're just struggling to get a dude at this point. It's just to watch. Now, one of the big reasons that this is that you could solve this overnight. Move Ben Simmons to small forward. Move Ben Simmons over to the forward spot. With Ben's elite perimeter defense, and with the way Jeremy Grant's a small forward starter, 6'8". So Ben guarding Jeremy most of the night. Look, uh, just move Ben over to the small forward spot. That's what I would do. Move Ben over to the 3 so that you can get much better perimeter defense than watching Danny Green die on a screen every day. Or watching Furkan Korkmaz get minutes. Or watching Mattise Thybulle foul out of control. That small forward spot is just, it's holding this team back. And every once in a while, in a game like tonight, or in a future X game that we lose, we're going to look back at the small forward position. Now, no team is ever perfect. But this team doesn't have to be perfect 1 through 5. We just need to find a way to upgrade from 30th. You know, it's funny. We had the worst guard rotation in the league last year. And now we have good guards, but small forward is a glaring issue. Just find a way to get a small forward upgrade. If you get a small forward upgrade, then you're set. If anyone's wondering why I'm not my energetic self, it's because, you know, other circumstances make it so that this was a late game and it ended late, and I was watching other podcasts like The Painted Lines. That, and it's only a 4-point win, so when you're a championship contender, 4-point wins is not like I should be super excited, but I am proud of this basketball team. Specifically, I am proud of Daryl Embiid. Now that he's smelling that MVP, he is smelling the belt of best player in the world, and he is proudly wearing it and grabbing it. And there's not anything that LeBron or any of the others could do anything about it. This man, 7'2", 265, the best center in the world, Joel Embiid, is the best player in the league. I'm sorry, it's over, it's a wrap. Sixers Universe signing off. Joel Embiid, MVP'd, the best player on the planet.